friends, welcome to another episode of Pizza Technologies. This is the host Kit Baraka, and today we're going to be doing a distribution called Manjaro. This is a different video than the rest that we do for coding. Today we'll be learning how to install Manjaro, the uses of Manjaro, and most of all, just a review on top. Another video on the most primary uses of Manjaro will be coming soon to you. Now, Manjaro has three different distributions. There's the KDE version, there's the Genome version, and there's the light version. Okay. Now, the KDE is the one that is borderline on both sides. Then there's the Genome version, which is graphical user based, and then there is the light version, which is the lightest version used for security systems mostly. Now, I'm going to start um, Manjaro, the genome. Here, as you can see, I have other virtual instances for Pair OS, which is a Linux distribution from Ubuntu, Fedora, which is also a Linux distribution on its own, currently being used as security, and Garuda Linux as an Arch Linux distribution, but for gaming. So this is also an Arch Linux distribution that we're going to be checking out today. We're going to give it time to power up because it takes its sweet time. You might require to have a RAM that is big and powerful enough to actually assist you. But as you can see, we are doing this the non-simple way, if I may. We're going to wait for this thing to load. Finally, we have started. Now, Manjaro will give you this Manjaro Hello. It's like its own kind of hello user. Welcome to Manjaro system, which he actually shows here. And it thanks you for joining the community of Linux developers. You know, so you're going to have a README documentation, release info, the wiki, that is information on Manjaro and other distributions of Manjaro. There's the support forums and donation forums. And then there is the where you can get involved. You can do the development for the apps for Manjaro and everything that you may need for Manjaro. And then there is the social media platforms here. This language bar gives you an allowance to change to whatever language you use. Personally, I use English, so I'm just going to run it with English. So we're going to launch the installer and we're going to wait for it to figure out whether it wants to load or not. And then we will give it a boost of its own where we will wait for the modules to load. And after they're done loading, they will give us a go ahead on installing the software. So you install slowly. You have to get your time zone. I'm in Nairobi, so that's where my time zone is going to be. You can get the QWERTY keyboard, the Colmar keyboard, whichever keyboard that you wish, the English that you prefer most. That's what we're going to use here. And you can erase the disk, you can partition the disk, whichever that you want. But personally, I'll just erase the whole disk. I'm using a 30 GB virtual box hard disk with an EFI installation system. And this is just going to be a smooth. We're going to be using a name. So we're just going to use that name to open it, and then you can put a password of your choice. Personally, I just put the password I use everywhere. And it can allow you to log in automatically, and you can use the same password for the administrator account if you want. If you don't, you can get a password for the administrator account. That is for the sudo apt-get installations. and that is for the also the terminal, anything that you may want to use at that specific moment. Now there is two of options for office. There's a libre office and there's a free office. I love the free office because it's a bit more intuitive and leans on the side of the Microsoft Office more. And for you to run something that is not Windows based on a Linux distribution, you need Wine. You also need Play on Linux. And so we're just going to just fly through the installation here because it's as simple as that. So we're going to allow it to install, give it its time, let it get to 100. I'm not going to use a time lapse on this so that you can actually understand the magnitude of time that we have to wait for. Depends on the machine that you're using. If it is an SSD, a solid state drive based machine, you're going to be to find it faster than in a hard disk drive machine. I hope that makes sense because hard disk drive comes with up to 3000 MB, which is 3 GB of what's the word, of space in movements. Yet the solid state drive comes with around 6 GB on the least side to 12 GB on the most side that we have seen. If you want a good solid state drive, go for Samsung. They have the best. Or you can go for Vivetronic if your SSD situation is a SATA situation. But if it's an NVMe, go for Samsung. They have the best. We're going to be waiting for this slightly slow yet fast installation. Personally, I'm using an NVMe of Samsung, and this not being a small software, uh, it's the best kind of situation right now. It's moving at its optimum speed. And we'll just wait for it to install. And as we wait for it to install, you can still run whatever you want to do with Manjaro using the environment that it has given you without installation. So it gives you the office, you can type your documents, it gives you accessories in there where you have the browser, the managers, the logs. If you want tweaks for your operating system, you get it here. If you want to change something, you will find it all here. If you want to get a firmware tour, everything you can do, it's within the accessories. You can get connections to Windows platforms or other Mac platforms or other even other Linux platforms. Fun fact, did you know that the Mac operating system is based on a Linux operating system? That you should know. So there are camera, therefore it can run on devices that are based with um, a webcam. The dynamic wallpaper, you can change it to dark if you want, or just leave it as bright as it is, whichever you want. You have games. Personally, I don't play these games, but you have games. You can check out my gamer channel on YouTube as Stupid Gamer 254. There are maps, there's a GThumb, there's layout switcher. You have all this at your disposal that you can use. The Thunderbird is used for mails. Then once you install everything, you can now download using the terminal your third-party apps for you for your own use. The Chromium, you won't find Chrome and updated Chrome on Linux, but you'll find Chromium, which is as close as you can get to Chrome for any Linux user. Or you can use the native Firefox here. Here's the terminal here. The terminal gives you a lot of information too. Wait and see. It allows you to load and gives you a chance to get into the root using that command that I've just written there. And you now have the root. Within the root, you can get anything you want. You can clone, you can fork, whichever you want to do, you will do it from there. but and it does it in such a way that is discreet and you won't be caught. As discreet as it comes, with great power comes responsibility. Please do not misuse it for anything whatsoever, because if you are caught, the jail time is not a small amount of time. Uh, that room won't be friendly to you. You can see there's a lot of commands. Some work, some won't work. You also need to understand which command that you want. Sudo apt-get is for, or apt-update basically, is for downloads. Now you must be connected to the internet before you do this. You can also do a sudo update. Sorry, my spelling is off. So once it installs everything, you will be able to get all these commands working. Right now they can't work because this knows that it's a virtual environment that is just set to sit there. You know, it is when testing. It's a tester virtual environment. Therefore, tester won't allow you to do a lot, and I mean a lot of things. So we're just going to close the terminal for now. We're going to wait. It shouldn't take a long time. It's at 26% already. So it will do its work as simple as it can get. Just give it its time. The installation can take a bit very too long sometimes, so I will just do a time lapse. I'll just show you how it looks after we are done with the installation. Okay, good. Now as you can see, we are done with installing it. It will now ask us to run, to restart our machine or restart our environment so that we can run the new line, the Manjaro Linux. It's the 24 edition, as you can see with the code number, the model number here, 2411. So here, I feel like that is Egyptian. Oh well. So let's restart and see what happens. It's a really fast boot if you think about it. So as you can see, we have now gotten the right install. It tells you welcome to Manjaro Linux. It gives you a tour. It allows you to skip. Good to skip for now. So now we have applications. It gives us everything and it allows us to switch the genome configuration that we have. It has the Manjaro, it has the traditional, it has the genome. Then it has the tiling. Have you ever seen the tiling before? Let's try the tiling and see what happens, okay? Aha, so it's not any different really. Oh, so that's the difference. Uh-huh. Let's go back to Manjaro here. Just leave it. Let's let it exist in the Manjaro environment. I wonder why it is laying like this. It's just refusing to work. So we can have everything that we want here. Up here it has all, so there's tiling, there's the night light, there's the dark style, there's everything inside the control center here, which also works as a taskbar. If notifications come through, you will find them here. Up here you can upgrade this or do it a customization to your liking. You can get a Mac themed style or a Windows 11 themed style. And see why we do that. Why not just install the whole operating system? But you could do that. You can see, get more information out of the information that is there. You can have the wired connections. You can have everything that you may want. And then now you can see the apps. Just the apps that showed you. It's not something big. Uh-huh. So up here we have the settings. I have learned what the tiled means now. It's an annoying kind of outlook to me. So you have the networks, and it shows you the speed that you have being used. You can set up VPNs here. The best VPN for Linux is the OpenVPN. You can set up proxies. You have the Bluetooth connections. You can use a dongle for this distribution because I don't have the Bluetooth drivers on board my VirtualBox, but on my machine they are there. You can have displays. You can have several displays. You don't have to have the native display that is being used here. You can have an extra maybe 2 or 3 displays to your advantage though, to your specification. You have sound. In the sound you have balance, you have the output volume. The output volume you can increase it to whatever amount of volume you would need or you would want. There's power, which gives me 95% and tells me it's fully charged. Now I see if I am finding this very hard to believe right now. 95% is not 100%. So it allows multitasking. When you go to this corner up here, uh, so this corner up here, you should get pop up or pop down of whatever you will find in the multitasking bar, as you can see. Then there's the appearance. The appearance is the default and there's the dark mode. Then there is a lot of wallpapers up here for the use that you may have. As you can see, they're just loading and they keep adding themselves. And then there is the apps, which gives you all apps that you have available in the machine as we speak. They're not many, but they do the work. You have the notifications, the search bar, and the online account for all your online accounts. The Nextcloud account, especially, I would advise you to go for the Nextcloud account for your cloud storage, and the Google account or Microsoft if you must. The 365 gives you the nearest nearest capabilities of Microsoft Office for Linux. Then you have the sharing, the file sharing and the media sharing. And then there is the mouse touchpad, which allows the touchpad on the native laptop touchpad to work as it should with or without Linux, because Linux comes with its own kind of drama. So there's the keyboard information, there's the color information, which is not calibrated for this machine, but well, it's there. Then there is printers. You can add the printers as long as you unlock up there. I don't think I'll be needing a printer, a coder. And then there is a accessibility menu, which allows you to see larger things, hear a bit more clearly than people around you, the typing, the pointing, the clicking, and the zoom, which allows people who have these eyes problems with eyesight. Now, there's a privacy that gives us the screen lock, the location, and the file history and trash. The cameras are controlled, but you can control it as best as you may want to. Now, in the system, you have the region, the language, the time, the users who are running your operating system at the time, the remote desktop. This allows you to connect to other computers elsewhere. The secure shell, the about. The about gives you all the information you may want. It gives you the hardware model, it gives you the processor that you're using, it gives you the disk capacity, then the RAM that you have. It has details, all details. If you may want them, you have them. Currently, my disk capacity is 32 GB because that is the virtual disk that I'm using. That is all for now. I will put a description below on how to download the software, what to download, what to choose, what not to choose, the Linux distributions that you might want to start with, because Manjaro is not for the basic. It is for a more intermediate person. For the basic, I will give a review soon on that. Uh, it's been nice. Have a great evening, and I'll see you on all on the next video. Peace.